This semester, I had the privilege to learn about the many different aspects about the fundamentals of oral communication. The coming concepts are those I found to be the most important in each module. Some of them I would have not expected to have anything to do with oral communication. Some of them I only had little knowledge about. One thing is for certain, I definitely learned something new about communication this semester. The first concept I chose was nonverbal communication, and I was surprised to find this in oral communication classes, seeing as how it is communication that is not given orally. It is anything that includes gestures, facial expressions, or outside of your body, like pictures. According to Michael Argyle, the three types of nonverbal communication is that of attitudes and emotions, that as replacement for language, and that is support of verbal communication. And the way these contribute to competent communication is a lot because, for example, in the first part, that of attitudes and emotions, if you say you're happy but you're not smiling, it doesn't come off that you're actually happy. So actually smiling will give off the impression that you are happy and make your communication more clear. For the second one, the replacement for language, if you're mute or if you're in a situation where you're in a place you're supposed to be quiet, you can use sign language or hand gestures to get your points across. And for the third one, support of verbal language. In an example, in a debate, it would be pretty awkward if you don't have your hands moving around and just have your hands at your sides. But if you move your hands around, it'll have your subconscious busy and it'll be less awkward for you. The second concept I chose is persuasion. Persuasive speaking is given with the intent to change minds or rally opinions. It's as opposed to informative speaking, which is meant to teach or inform your audience. Persuasive communication focuses less on informing and more on changing minds. Uh, in Chapter 12 of Communication Making Connections, it states four specific goals of persuasive speaking: adoption, which is to convince the audience to start new behaviors, uh, discontinuance, which is to stop behaviors you're already doing, deterrence, which is to uh, tell the audience to avoid certain behaviors, and continuance, which is meant for the audience to continue certain behaviors. Persuasive speaking doesn't necessarily come into much importance in everyday communication, but it does contribute to competent communication in specific situations. It is persuasion that makes advancements happen. The final concept I chose was group communication. Group communication involves the ability of members of a group to effectively communicate with one another. Group communication is crucial for any group to function because you need a clear common goal, otherwise, everybody's on their own agendas and nothing will get done. The Montana State University states that there are three main factors that affect group communication: group size, physical arrangements, and responsibilities. Smaller groups are typically easier to control, for example, because a large setting, a physical arrangement, would not be necessary. And also, in cases of social media, it will be easier to communicate with your group members. And responsibilities will be more clear and less spread out in a smaller group. Groups and teams make a way for humanity to come together, and that's why group communication contributes to competent communication. Without competent group communication, nothing will ever get done, and there will be no point in these people uniting. While there were more concepts in this semester, these were the most important or interesting things I found in each module. Nonverbal communication is more common than the other two, but persuasive and group communications are more situational. Nonetheless, I use all of these more frequently than I would have thought I did had I not taken this class, and I am now glad to be informed.